Hey everybody, it's Linda. I'm here today to share with you about the 13th sun sign. And you've probably heard this before, so I know I've heard it before. Things started surfacing the last summer again. They started getting really hot, but I know I heard this a number of years ago and I was like, no, just like Pluto's not a planet, right? Okay, you can have your opinions on that, and it depends on what the classifications are. If they change a classification for something, it's going to evolve naturally, which I think the whole zodiac system has to have an overhaul, a rehaul. But I'm going to bring in what NASA has to say about it. I'm going to bring in fact checkers. And like always, I'm going to put links down in the description box if you want to do your own research on this. Let's get right to it. Okay, so we have the 13th zodiac sun sign here, and it's pronounced, let me go back and see, it's Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus. Yeah, it's pronounced Ophiuchus. So Ophiuchus is actually positioned right between Sagittarius and Scorpio, which is really interesting. This is a fire element. The ruling planet is Jupiter. The lucky color is purple. And there's pansies and black roses and things. You can read all about this. Again, I put the links down in the description box. But the characteristics of Ophiuchus people. Since Ophiuchus is a constellation consisting of two, which is Ophiuchus and the serpent, pretty interesting. People under this sign have an entangled character, just like the war between Ophiuchus and serpents. Sometimes they're rational, and sometimes they're sensitive. Sometimes philanthropic. No, philanthropic. Yeah, I can't say that word. And sometimes indifferent. That's why they often wonder whether they're like Scorpions or Sagittarians. No matter what they're like, however, they cannot deny the trait of the other half. I find this really interesting, you guys, because there was talk about Chiron, the healer planet, and different things. And it's interesting how the healer, there's a whole bunch of healing that has to do with the representation of the snake and the man holding it. And you guys can read all about this. Okay. Sometimes people are calm. These types of people born under this sign are calm, thinking, aggressive, shrewd, attentive, cold, and mysterious. And at the same time, they are similar with Sagittarian people in terms of passion, insight, and making unremitting efforts to achieve goals. So I'm sure you want to know what the dates are for this. So I won't go through all of what this is about, but I highly suggest you do a little bit of research on this one, because it looks like even NASA is admitting there is a 13th constellation out there. Okay, so it talks about love partners, perfect matches a Leo, and best partner Capricorn, bosom friends Cancers. And then there's a legend about it here. I'll read that a little bit real quick. Serpent was a symbol of medicine in ancient Greece. Medicine. And look what's going on in our world today. Everything that has to do with medicine is being flipped on its head. Anyway, I digress. The hero of Ophiuchus was Asclepius. Sorry if I'm pronouncing these wrong. Who was an excellent healer and son of Apollo. Asclepius could cure the dying people and saved the just died people. That's what it says right here. Think of resurrection. Think of Lazarus. Just saying. As a result, the population of hell decreased sharply, and Hades, in charge of the hell, complained to his brother, Zeus. For the sake of his brother and his vow of preventing the entire human race from becoming immortal, very interesting here, right? Zeus agreed to the request of Hades and killed the Asclepius with a lightning bolt. Apollo was very sad after learning the news that he had come to Zeus to complain, and Zeus was also regretful and found it improper to have killed the benevolent healer. Therefore, he brought the soul of Asclepius to heaven and appointed him as god of medicine to praise the painstaking research and exploration spirit of Asclepius. Zeus also brought the serpent to heaven and made it, and Asclepius, the Ophiuchus. No, sorry. Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is how it's pronounced. Ophiuchus. I want to call it something else, but Ophiuchus is how we say this. Now, this link is in the description box, so you guys can go and read all the details there that I haven't read yet. But let me see who's with me here today so far. We got Diane and Bev. Thank you for joining that way. I know Sherry's probably watching Sistar out there. Listen, guys, I decided I was going to do a fact check on this because we've all heard, We've all heard about the extra sign and no, and what are the astrologers going to, astrologers, what are the astrologers going to do if they have to add in another sign? What are they going to do? So here's what the fact checkers are saying. And it's funny because they quote, I'll show you how they quote NASA's own blog and statements, and then they still call it false. But let's get to that. So the fact check, did NASA add the 13th zodiac sign called Ophiuchus? Fact check. A number of social media users were claiming that NASA had added a new zodiac sign, which they did not. But the claims since then have proven false. Okay, the claims that NASA has, they're actually kind of not lying, I guess, but they're misleading because they're claiming that NASA added a 13th sign. No, NASA did no such thing, and they'll tell you that. But watch what else they tell you. I just love these truthometers. They're saying it's all BS. So, okay, let's keep going. Here's the origin. This won't be the first time that NASA has been associated with discovering the 13th zodiac sign. For some years, a reoccurring theme of fake news doing the rounds on the internet, which claim that NASA has found a new zodiac sign. Like every year, NASA has come forward and cleared the air about the same. And this girl's like, I guess on Twitter saying, stop the world. I'm getting off 2020. I'm getting off, and 2020 can get, looks like an F there. So we can guess what that is. Yeah, 2020 was pretty bad. I agree with you there. Ty, agree with you on that one. NASA's clarification over the 13th zodiac. And this is what they say. They quote directly from NASA because here's their tweet here. It says the constellations are different sizes and shapes, so the sun spends different lengths of time lined up with each one. That's important. The line from Earth through the sun points to Virgo for 45 days, but it points to Scorpius for only 7 days. To make a tidy match with their 12-month calendar, the Babylonians ignored the fact that the sun actually moves through 13 constellations, not 12. Boom. This is a quote taken right from NASA, and I will show you. I'll go to their website and I'll prove this. Then they assigned each of those, so they're trying to make it tidy up with their fake 12-month calendar. Okay, it moves through 13 constellations. Then they assign each of these 12 constellations in equal amounts of time, which is not true. How many of you out there have felt like your sun sign, maybe a little before, a little after, you more resonated with? Or there's some things about your sign that just didn't feel right, but you were always told this, and everything you saw in print always said you were this. I know when I show you these dates, you guys are going to be like, what? And I don't even know if these dates are accurate. I mean, look, they're saying right here, it's in Scorpius for 7 days. But when I go and show you the dates, I don't know that they actually line up for 7 days. I think they only line up for 4 or 5 days. So I still think there's more calculations that really need to be done. And hopefully somebody will step up and take care of this once and for all. So I decided, let me go to NASA directly and see what's going on there. So this is their Tumblr page. All right. It says constellations in the calendar. Did you recently hear that NASA changed the zodiac signs? Nope, we definitely didn't. Now here we go. Here at NASA, we study astronomy, not astrology. We didn't change any zodiac signs. We just did the math. Here's the details. First things first, astrology is not astronomy. Now they're going to whip this a little bit and say how it's not science, but just bear with me. Astronomy is the scientific study of everything in outer space. Astronomers and other scientists know that stars, many light years away, have no effect on the ordinary activities of humans on Earth. It's okay. Just hang in there. Astrology, meanwhile, is something else. It is the belief that the positions of the stars and planets can influence human events. It is not considered a science. Yeah, we know they feel that way. That's okay. Let's keep going. Some curious symbols ring the outside of the Starfinder. These symbols stand for some of the constellations on the zodiac. What is the zodiac and what is special about these constellations? You guys can go, I put the link in there. You can go in there and read all about what the constellations are, what it means, a little bit more of that. Let's just keep going. So a long history of the stars. The Babylonians lived over 3,000 years ago. They divided the zodiac into 12 equal parts, like cutting a pizza into 12 slices. They picked 12 constellations in the zodiac, one for each 12 slice. So Earth orbits the sun. The sun would appear to pass through each of the 12 parts of the zodiac. Since Babylonians already had a 12-month calendar based on the phases of the moon, each got a slice to itself. But even according to the Babylonians' own ancient stories, there were 13 constellations in the zodiac. So they picked one, Ophiuchus, to leave out. Even then, some of the chosen 12 didn't fit neatly into their signed slice of the pie and crossed over to one another. This probably validates so many people out there who do not resonate completely with their sun sign. I just said that. That's not in the article. The constellations are different sizes and shapes, so the sun spends different lengths of time lined up with each other. The line from Earth through the sun points to Virgo for 45 days, but points to Scorpius for only 7. To make a tidy match with their 12-month calendar, the Babylonians ignored the fact that the sun actually moves through 13 constellations, not 12. Then they assigned each of the 12 constellations equal amounts of time. So we didn't change any zodiac signs. We did the math. Now, you guys, I don't know what that sounds like to you, but it certainly sounds like this fact checker here trying to claim that it's false. There we go. They fact checked it. They said it was false, but then they're using and quoting NASA. And right here, NASA's telling you it's a 13 constellation, not 12 Babylonian fake calendar. Well, they didn't say fake. I'm saying that. Something's not right here, right? Something's not matching up. All right, now let's get to the goodies because Ophiuchus, all about the 13th astrological sign. So this was the article that actually first brought to my attention. And funny enough, how I found this, if you guys want to know how I found this, I was doing some gematria decoding, and I've just been all over that for the last few days, going down some rabbit holes like crazy. I love gematria. It's awesome. And it led me to this. So I went on DuckDuckGo. I got off of Google. You guys get off of Google. It's easy to switch to DuckDuckGo, and it's so much better. You get so much more. All kinds of things are coming up in my search that are not coming up on Google, and you don't know until you know. It's literally like taking your glasses off. So I put this in, and I started getting more information. I started reading about Ophiuchus and what it is and what it did. And here we go. Here's the pronunciation, Ophiuchus. Now, it could just be this person who wrote the article. Excuse me. Again, the link's in the description box so you guys can check out the whole article later. But I want to show you the dates. If you're born between November 29th and December 17th, this is you. Okay? Is this big enough for everybody? Can you guys see that? You might want to get your picture camera or whatever, take a picture if you're not on DuckDuckGo. I know people like to assume everything's in a nice, neat little package, but there is 13 constellations up there, and they're in different times. And it's been said that when you're coming down, you're getting your own energetic blueprint. You're getting certain astrological alignments that align with the energetics, that align with the grids for your own personal energetics to move best in your life. The influences that you need to work out for karma and spiritual contracts and galactic missions and all of that, you need to have a certain vibration and energetic signature. The lawoftime.org will tell you what your galactic signature is. And it also tells you there's tribes and tones, and it's a whole nother world if you haven't figured that one out. Maybe I will get that link for you guys too and throw that down and pin that up as a comment later. But for right now, right now I have a daughter who used to be this, and she didn't just skip here. She's back in this now. She's always said that she feels more resonant. Sometimes she feels like more of a Scorpio than a Sagittarius. So shout out to Amber, my daughter out there. Guess what? You are a Scorpio. I also thought I had 2 sons in Libra, and now I don't. Now I have a daughter and 2 sons in Virgo. Check that out. And here, I always thought I was a Taurus. I'm now an Aries. And it makes a lot more sense. It's crazy. My mom is too. She's now an Aries as well. The last time they tried to put this out, I remember looking at some of the dates, and they didn't line up, or the way they lined up, I was still a Taurus, and I thought, I'm I'm still a Taurus. It doesn't affect me. But I never did any research on it. No more than just a few quick clicks to see if mine was changing or not, or how it would affect me. But I hadn't really gotten to that point of, okay, this is huge because our whole origins have been hidden from us. The whole multidimensional aspect, the energetics, your signature, all of that's been hidden from us. You really think they're not going to try to hide your proper influential sun sign so that you can get good guidance? You think that's not going to be hidden? And the fact that he's a healer and that he would it can resurrect people that have just died. I mean, whoa, that's kind of getting heavy. I know. So, all right, let me see if you guys can see this. So, oh, Sherry saying right now, you're an Aries, now a Pisces. Here you go. We're right on the cusp. Well, see, and how do we even know if the moon does influence or not? Does it? I mean, it's magnetic, but is the moon really being used for what we thought it was being used? I mean, I once heard that there's so many slices of the moon. It's like Switzerland there for all the different star systems, and they can come in so they can closely monitor their um, their kind that are incarnated in Earth. So if that's the case with the moon, maybe the moon does influence to a point, but I don't see it as being a natural influence as much anymore. I'm seeing the sun signs being hidden. What do you guys think? Gain peace, to know or not? Yes. To know or not to know. Down the rabbit hole we go. And Bev, I know you're doing readings and things, so it's a big rabbit hole for you. Hey, Sarah, Tina, how you guys doing? Guys, thanks for joining me real quick. This is interesting. Diane, oh, Diane, how you doing? Diane from the farm, how's it going? I think you're out in Ohio, right? I think I got you. Nice to see you guys here. I want to end with something really cool, something to think about. And it's called The Story of the Sandwich. Let's listen to this real quick here. The Story of the Sandwich by Stephanie Butler. Would you believe that Americans eat more than 300 million sandwiches a day? That's right. Every day we consume about as many sandwiches as we are people to eat them. And sorry if this picture's making you guys hungry. All right. So let's see. It's not really the story of the sandwich, but I'm going to put my own little twist on this. But all right, so every day we consume them. And why not? The sandwich might be the perfect food, portable, open to interpretation, as the simplest or most elaborate as your mood permits. The sandwich has a long history, but it hasn't always been embraced in America as it is now. It's hard to imagine. The sandwich was once thought of as a symbol of colonial past that most patriotic Americans wanted to forget. Why's that? The sandwich, as we know it, was popularized in England in 1762 by John Montague, the fourth Earl of Sandwich. Legend has it, and most food historians agree, that Montagu had a substantial gambling problem that led him to spend hours on end at the card table. So during a particular long binge, he asked the house cook to bring him something that he could eat without getting up from his seat. And the sandwich was born. All right. So a lot of people have done this before, it says in there too. So I'm just going to skip a little bit down. So the creation took off, blah, blah, blah. So by the Revolutionary War, the sandwich was well established in England. As you would expect, most American colonists have taken to the sandwich as well, but there's no early record of them in the new country at all until the sandwich recipe didn't appear in the American cookbook until 1815. And why so long? It seems that American cooks tended to avoid culinary trends from their former ruling state. Ha! That's what it is. We Americans love to protest, don't we? So, of course, one memory faded with the sandwich. It had appeared. The most popular version wasn't ham or turkey, but it was tongue. And of course, most Americans today wouldn't dream of eating a tongue sandwich. But that's okay, because we've come up with some pretty excellent ideas since then. You get the idea. So you guys, that link is also in the description box if you want to read all that in detail. But I want to put my own little spin on the sandwich, because I once was taught when I was training in martial arts. Yes. Let's see here. I'm going to come a little closer to you guys. There we go. I was once trained about proper critique of someone. It's like constructive criticism. And what do you do when you're training children or anybody who's new in something? You give them the sandwich technique. And I'm bringing this up because we're going to have a lot of people coming into the space to learn things. You guys are going to be educators. You're going to be teaching. And so I'm going to hand you the sandwich method and you can use it as you want. If you already know what it is, then bravo, keep doing it. What it is when you're critiquing someone or constructive criticism, or you're trying to help somebody, if you want to give them that constructive criticism, you do a positive, you do the constructive criticism, and then you do another positive. You sandwich it like that because people are more tend to listen. If you want to correct somebody and you could say, hey, like that was a great form. You did excellent. You had a lot of energy. I really love that. Now, maybe on the turns, you can watch where you're placing your foot, but really your attitude is excellent. And I love how you memorized all the steps. So you see how I did, positive, negative, positive, if you want to call it negative. So we can do that with people when they're learning things. We remember to give a sincere and genuine compliment, something positive. Oh, wow. You read that story. You read that too? I'm glad you're getting your news from XYZ source. Yeah, so I know we haven't always agreed on certain political issues. So maybe there's another source you can look at too. Boom, boom, boom. Here's a couple other sources. And hey, wow, I'm really proud of you getting your source from this place. Or you know what I'm saying? Try to find positive and then constructive criticism and something else positive. And it'll go a long way. So guys, thanks for being here. I wanted to also mention before you go really quick, I wanted to mention if you want to come and see some of the energy work that Sherry and I are going to be doing tonight, we are going to be doing it again at 9 o'clock Eastern time. It's 6 o'clock Western time on her YouTube channel, Sherry Balch. Please go over there, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you can see some of the energetic work we're doing. And if you feel guided to lend your energy in what we're doing, holding the space, holding the grids, clearing out some of the muck that needs to be cleared out, please come over and join us. We would love to see you there. So thanks again. This 13th sign is absolutely amazing to bring into our awareness and just be aware that it is there. NASA has confirmed that. Babylonians confirmed, said that themselves. And they admit how they sliced it all up in 12 and it actually is 13. So even if your algorithms and all the programs you have don't base it on that, it might be time for a change. Everything's going to be getting an overhaul. So let's just go with the flow, shall we? And try to be a little bit better today than we were yesterday. Peace, you guys. I love you. Take care. We'll see you tonight.